Bada bing, bada boom. You know what it is. Geeks are back on the scene, baby. UFC 288. We're running through picks and predictions, full card. We already did the main card. Check that video out. We're going to run through the prelims here, every single fight from the bottom to the top. Let's get into it. This is a big old fight night. We got Cejudo and Aljo at the top. Couple fights fell through, but prelims should hold up. Here we go. We got Johnny Munoz Jr., 12-2. Coming out against Daniel Santos, 10-2. This is a fight going down at 135. This is a bantamweight scrap. Daniel Santos, aka Mini Charles Oliveira. God, you gotta love this guy's fight style. He is electric. This guy comes forward, a lot of aggression. Johnny Munoz, on the other hand, just kind of like a well-rounded fighter. He's got good jits. His stand-up's nothing crazy. And that's kind of what I think about this fight. I think Daniel Santos is going to be the more dangerous guy in there. I'm just kind of worried about his gas tank, but if he can come in there and give me a good hard 15 minutes, I don't think there's any reason why he's not leading the volume battle and really just winning this fight everywhere. So I'm going to take Daniel Santos. What do you got, Dano?
I'm riding with Daniel Santos too. We got to remember that this card was originally supposed to have Oliveira versus Dariush. Like you were saying, we got a little mini Oliveira in there. They got to be in training together. Oliveira is a pretty damn good partner to have with you. So I'm going to take Oliveira to edge this one out decision or mini Oliveira.
Let's go, Goosey. What do you got?
I'm gonna take Daniel Santos. Definitely better stand up on the ground. He's gonna be serviceable in the jiu-jitsu game. Munoz, probably a different level, but I think Santos will be able to hold his own. All those chew to box guys can. And that Muay Thai striking, I think, is really gonna get to Munoz, who really only brings some a little bit of subpar boxing, but he is very good on the ground. I don't think that's gonna be enough. I think Santos gets the TKO victory.
Front kick.
I'm riding with Santos on this one. I just like him. I don't think he's gonna get subbed by Munoz. I think that's the only threat that Munoz has got in this one. Same thing you guys are thinking. Sweep it up.
Sweep it up. We're moving into the next one. We got a middleweight scrap. This is Joseph Holmes. He's got a funny nickname. I think it's the Ugly Man. 8-3. Coming out against Claudio Ribeiro. 10-3. Brazilian. This guy's coming off Contender Series. He got a crazy knockout in the Contender Series, and then he had his debut already. That went well. Good, hard fought. No?
Got splatted by Abdul Razak.
Oh. Okay, so Claudio Ribeiro, 10-3 Brazilian. Coming off the Contender Series, definitely showed a lot of potential. Debut didn't go his way. But the guy's definitely dangerous. Guy's definitely very strong. Definitely a big physical presence in the octagon. And Joseph Holmes is kind of just a quirky guy in a way that, like, he's good in a lot of things and he's just not like great at anything in particular. Like, I think his striking is like pretty slick, but he's just like doesn't have like a lot of power. So it's hard to really like stand behind him in that sense at 85. So it's going to be interesting. I could see Holmes winning a decision, but I just think that Ribeiro's like physicality is going to be a huge problem for him in a lot of these exchanges. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a huge toss up. Wouldn't be surprised if this comes down to, the judges and they're looking at it in a couple of different ways. So I'm going to stay away from this one. If I had to lean, I'd probably lean Joseph Holmes, but I like the 2.5 over 2.5 for some reason. I think it's just going to be messy. What do you got, Dano?
I'm riding against Joseph Holmes. I'm going with Ribeiro too. I think that his power will succeed in this one. Fish told us that he got splatted against Abdul Al Hassan. I like Abdul. A lot of people sleep on him. He's got a lot of power. He's kind of a wild card. He's got some losses under his belt, but he does deliver a big, powerful punch. So I don't put any, I don't look too deep into that one because, if you do get hit by him, you will go out. But I think Ribeiro's power will play a big factor in this one. I'm not a huge fan of Holmes and his fighting style. He is a bit of a finesse guy, but sometimes he gets clipped. So I'm riding with the power puncher Ribeiro.
Front kick.
Yeah, and this one I feel for Ribeiro. I like Joseph Holmes, like Dana was saying, but I mean Ribeiro's got the pop in his hands. I think he got clipped. Abdul's got the pop in his hands. Everyone's seen that video of him clapping his sparring partner. It's pretty fucked up. But yeah, let me ride with the lines also. People are a little bit of money's going towards Holmes, not too much, but I'm gonna ride with Ribeiro on this one.
What do you got, Goose?
Then I'm gonna go Holmes here. I'm riding with the ugly man. 80-inch reach. He's never been knocked out. Maybe Ribeiro's the guy to do it, but I think the looping punches of Ribeiro versus the straight punches of Holmes, he's gonna keep him at bay. He's gonna use that reach, and then he also has the grappling to fall back on. Ribeiro, I think he's got to KO him in the first 2 rounds if he wants to win. I don't see him bringing all the volume here. Ugly man, he doesn't have the best gas tank either, but he has some ways that he can take the fight to the ground. He can keep the fight at range, use the kicks if he does get tired. And Joseph Holmes underdog, I like it here. I see some value there. I'm gonna pick him.
All right, fair enough.
Submission.
Okay, narrowing it down. All right, we're moving into the next one. We got a flyweight scrap. This is Zalgasuma Gulov, 14-8. The wizard, I like to call him, because he always just keeps getting robbed. This guy just can't catch a break. Coming out against Rafael Estevam, 11-0. Big prospect off the Contender Series. And Estevam is definitely something to keep your eyes on because, capping up the season, he was definitely a guy that was at the top of my list when we were looking at, prospects entering the UFC, how we were thinking that they were going to do and whatnot. Estevam's good, man. He's very well-rounded. He's very elusive. Zalgas, on the other hand, this guy's a tough night out for anybody. He's good everywhere. He's got some big power combos that he likes to throw. He can wrestle a little bit. It's hard to beat Zalgas in a dominant fashion. So this is really a hard test for Estevam straight off the rip. But, you look at his record. He's been fighting really good competition his last handful of fights. So this isn't going to be too much of a problem for him. This is going to be definitely a good spot to gauge Estevam going forward. I'm taking Zalgas. This is probably a little bit of a bias pick from me, but just knowing what Zalgas brings to the octagon every single time, and this is Estevam's debut. He's got his hands full. He's going to have a really, really good performance, and I just know Zalgas is in there for a hard 15 that they're probably going to get a split decision anyways. So
big Zalgas guy over there.
Big Zalgas guy. Let's get it. Goosey, what you got?
Contender Series fade. All right, I'm going with Zalgas. He's like plus 160, I think. Estevam minus 200 making his debut off the Contender Series. Big red flag. All right, I think you look at it, Zalgas has the experience. You're not really gonna piece him up on the feet, and it's gonna be hard to take him to the ground. Estevam, he's taken the step up in competition. I think Zalgas is gonna show that little wizard and get probably a decision win.
Let's go. Probably a split decision. What do you got, Dano?
I'm riding with Zalgas too, man. I like the little Contender Series fade in this one. Like I was talking about earlier in the card where we have Daniel Santos training with Oliveira. We've seen Zalgas training with the Beast, one of my favorite fighters, Pantoja. So we know he's getting in that work. A lot of people will see this. They'll see an undefeated guy, minus 200 range versus a dude who's been struggling his past couple fights. But CEO, like you were saying, Zalgas is no slouch. I think that his strategy just with the overhand into takedowns, I think will mess up Estevam. I think I could see that gassing him out because Zalgas does have a really good pace that he puts on people. So I'm gonna ride with Zalgas too. Don't know how he gets it done, but Zalgas is the pick.
Front kick.
I usually like the Contender Series fade, but this fight is giving me Bonfim Brothers vibes right now, and I'm not I'm not falling for it again. I faded them last time. Brazilian coming in, 26 years old. Zalgas is 33. It's just I don't see it going in the way of Zalgas. So I'm picking the Contender Series kid.
Let's go.
Fair enough. All right, we're moving into the next boot. We've got another middleweight scrap. This is Ikram Aliskerov, 13-1, Russian, coming out against Phil Hawes, 12-4, American. This one stylistically kind of a nightmare for Phil Hawes. I mean, we all saw his last fight. His knee just got absolutely blown the flip out. That man Delidze paid this man no mercy, kind of just ripped through his shit. So this is a quick turnaround. I think it's only like 7 months or something like that. So what are we doing here, Phil Hawes? I mean, I don't really think that you can be fully healed. I don't know what the extent of the injury was, but it just doesn't seem like you'd be okay, especially in this kind of matchup where you're going to need it a lot. Ikram's going to be bringing that, Russian style, heavy takedowns, that chain wrestling type. And Phil Hawes is really going to have to work in this fight. So if he can work, keep it on the feet, turn it into one of those pitter patter kind of things where he's kind of just beating the shit, touching him up for 3 rounds, then yeah, I mean, Phil Hawes could have a night, but I'm not going to bank on that knee. I'm going to need to see him come back. I'm going to need to see him get a win and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to ride with Ikram here. Not super confident, more of a Phil Hawes fade. So I'm going to lean that off. Front kick, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm seeing some scary things, like you said. I don't know how good that knee is. Riding off so he gets his knee blown out and then he's getting knocked out. So I mean, that's probably the worst possible outcome you could have had. But I hope the kid wins. Tough matchup, but I'm just gonna fucking ride with Phil Hawes on this one. I'm liking the dog one in this one. I'm not gonna go for the Russian. Nah.
All right, Dana, what do you got?
I hate to say it, man, but I am gonna fade Phil Hawes here. I just am super sketched out about his chin. We see he has chin issues in each of his fights. And the other thing is we know his opponent is gonna wrestle. And my thing with Phil Hawes, CEO, like you were saying, front kick, like you were saying, that leg was beat up. Who knows how it'll be this time? But we have seen Phil Hawes have good takedown defense until he doesn't. He'll stuff some takedowns and he'll even look good almost stuffing on it, but somehow he ends up on the ground. And then once he initially gets on the ground that first time, it seems like more takedowns follow. We saw in the Darren Wynn fight, Darren Wynn against Phil Hawes couldn't really get Phil Hawes to the ground, and we saw Phil Hawes just tee off him on the feet. But then we see Delidze successfully get him the ground, and it kind of just seems like once he does get taken down and he knows that takedowns are coming, the striking really goes from here to here with Phil Hawes. I think that's going to play a big factor into this one. So I am fading Phil Hawes.
Lucy.
I mean, stylistically, I think this fight is better for Phil Hawes just because he does have that 100% takedown defense in the UFC. He has better striking. But then, like 7 months ago, man, he got his knee just obliterated and then knocked out cold by Roman Dolidze. So I think it's going to be hard to stuff takedowns. This guy's a pretty elite wrestler. I don't think he's that good on the feet, but Phil Hawes, a guy like him, I don't think he's going to have good jujitsu or get up game from his back. I think that he's good at stuffing takedowns. He's good at being dominant in the wrestling, but if he does get on his back, I really think he's not going to know what to do. And it's going to be hard to stuff takedowns with that knee that got shredded just 7 months ago. They take some time to heal. Pro athletes, like football players, it takes a season, full year. This guy's coming back 7 months. It seems fast. I'm going to go with Ikram.
All right, let's go. We're moving into the next one. We got a heavyweight scrap here. Parker Porter, 13-8, coming out against Braxton Smith, making his UFC debut at 5-1. I'm taking Parker Porter in this one. Braxton Smith is going to have a window of opportunity. It's not going to be a big window, but there'll be a window. And I'm gonna say that it's gonna be the first three minutes of the fight. That's when his window is, and he's either gonna cash your ticket there, or I highly advise to jump on the Parker Porter train, because this guy Braxton Smith, all his knockouts have come on the regional scene to not the best opponents, and they're also lasting about a minute long. I mean, the guy's just destroying everyone quickly, and Parker Porter's level of competition is so much better. Like I can't really emphasize that enough. So I think if Parker Porter can just keep his hands up for the first few minutes of this, he's going to bring Braxton Smith to a place that he's never been, and it could get real messy real quick. So as confident as I could be on a guy like Parker Porter, I'm going to say he's going to get this one done inside the distance. So very interesting play, but I'm taking it inside the distance, Parker Porter. What do you got, Goosey?
This fight's gonna be a funny fight. All right. I think either way it goes, it will be entertaining, kick the feet back. Because I mean, I don't even think these guys really are going in there with the best game plan. Braxton Smith, I'm telling you right now, he's gonna sling them hands and try and knock him out in a minute. If he's there 5 minutes later, Parker Porter's probably gonna get a sub or a TKO off. But that's a big if, especially after Parker Porter's last time out where Tafa smacked him up. But I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt because Tafa, very good. He's proven at heavyweight. Braxton Smith, not. So picks gonna be Parker Porter, but flip a coin.
What do you got?
Under 2.5 is probably a lock.
Oh yeah, I like under 2.5, but that's probably juiced. What do you got, Dano?
I'm riding with Braxton Smith. I think this, for me, total fade of Parker Porter. Don't know too much about Braxton Smith. Obviously, he is a new guy to the UFC, but I just feel like I have no faith in Parker Porter. He's one of those older guys who, is the chunkier heavyweights who just really doesn't show much upward trajectory. I feel like, he's getting older, more fights on his resume, and he's coming to the end. And we already know what we're going to get from Parker Porter's nothing crazy. So I'm thinking Braxton Smith, like you were saying, CEO is going to come out hot in the first round, first couple minutes. And I think that'll be enough. So I'm riding with Braxton Smith.
Fair enough. What do you got, front kick?
Gimme Parker Porter, baby. Yes, sir. I'm riding with Parker Porter. This other dude, Braxton Smith. I mean, technically, he made his debut in 2014 where he lost to Chase Sherman, but since then, no fights until 2022, and then he's just fighting a bunch of 0-0 guys. So I mean, give me Parker Porter to out experience him, out vet him. He knows all he's got to do is wait the first 5 minutes out, and then boom, he's got him. So hopefully, I'm gonna ride with Porter though.
Yeah, let's go. All right, we're moving into the next fight. We have got Marina Rodriguez coming out against Verna Jandiroba. This is a strawweight women's boot. 16-2-2 is Marina. Verna Jandiroba is 18-3. I'm taking Marina Rodriguez. Marina Rodriguez is really good, man. She really is. She's very well-rounded. She's very put together. Jandiroba is kind of the same, but just less, in my opinion. I know that, Jandiroba's got some good jiu-jitsu, and her stand-up's really wonky, but it's kind of effective as shit. But Marina is just elusive. She's smooth. She moves good on her feet. Like, her striking, like, is actually, like, really nice to watch. Very different than a lot of these other females in the division. It's kind of quirky. She's very smooth, very fluent. I know that she lost to Amanda Lemos in her last fight, but I didn't think she was looking bad. And she was on a big win streak before that, only losing to Carla Esparza in her last, 15, all of her fights. She's only ever lost to Amanda Lemos and Carla Esparza. So I'm taking Marina. She needs a bounce back here. This is a good fight to bounce back. Get her right back in the conversation. So I think that she wins a decision in this one. Jandiroba was really tough. What do you got, front kick?
Yeah, I like that play right there. Give me Marina decision. I think her hands are just gonna go to work, like you said. But I like Verna Jandiroba. I like her too. But I think like I said, Marina's gonna get the dub.
Yeah, Jandiroba's usually she's a good dog pick. She's usually slept on. What do you like, Dano?
I'm with you guys. You guys said everything I'm thinking of. Marina Rodriguez is no joke. She's getting up there in age. She can't afford to lose this one. So there's a lot at stake for her. So I'm riding with Marina.
Goosey?
But take Verna. I think she gets the takedowns. She's had stylistically, she lost to Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Hebos. Both have very good ground game with good jujitsu. We're able to stop her takedowns. Marina Rodriguez, on the other hand, her losses are to Carla Esparza and Amanda Lemos, two girls that were trying to take her down and control her on the ground. I think Verna Jandaroba is going to do that, and I think she'll be successful. So Jandaroba decision.
Let's go. All right, moving into the next one, we got a welterweight scrap. We got Chaos Williams. Let's go, 13-3, coming out against UFC debuter Rolando Bedoya, 14-1, a Peruvian. His record looks good. He's coming off a 10-1 win on the regional scene. Darce choke round 2. So crafty guy, likes his jiu-jitsu. We all know Chaos Williams is that dog. This guy's gonna walk forward, throw big strikes. He's got pretty sound defense, and his game's really getting put together. He's really starting to link together the pieces. Coming off a quirky split decision against Randy Brown, and he was on a 3-fight win streak before that. I'm taking Chaos. He's set up here. This is a terrible debut fight for Rolando Bedoya. If he surprises us, he surprises us, but he's definitely not in there as the A side of this matchup. So I'm taking Chaos to go in there and do what he should do, and that's put the work on a newcomer and show levels to the game. So what do you got, Goosey?
I'm gonna go with my dog, Chaos Williams. He's been out for a while. He's good at stopping the ground game, and he's got bombs in his fists. I think he's coming back with a splash here, knockout victory. Rolando's pretty good, but Chaos is that guy.
Throwback to when Chaos turned Abdul Razak Khalishan into a piece of 2x4. Dano, what do you got?
Pretty simple breakdown for me. I think this fight's going to be a banger. It's going to be Chaos, and who thrives in that? Chaos Williams. So that's who I'm riding with.
Front kick.
I'm riding with the man Chaos. Yeah, I think that when he knocked out Abdul Razak, I think that's what turned him into a demon. He's just knocking everybody out now.
Full demon mode. All right, moving into the next one. This one's going to be a very interesting scrap. Going down at 205, we got Devin Clark, 14-7, coming out against Kennedy Njoku, 11-3. Man, Kenny Njoku, what a guy, man. Definitely spun the narrative on me a little bit. I was not high on Kenny Njoku whatsoever at all. Ever since the beginning when he's getting knocked out by those elbows on his guard and whatnot. A lot of red flags for me, but this guy's really turned a corner. Saif Saud has done a great job with Kennedy. He's really developing his whole persona in the octagon. He looks more confident in there. This is a great matchup for him because Devin Clark loves to sniff crotches. And one thing I've learned about Kennedy is that he is so damn big, you can't freaking move him. All right. This guy is just such a big creature that you try to grapple him and he'll just end up on top of you in a terrible position. Like he's that guy. It's just weird. He's very awkward, but he's going to find a way to knock out Devin Clark in this fight. And it's going to be bizarre as shit, but it's going to be dope, low key. So I'm taking Kennedy inside the distance. What do you got, front kick?
I like it. Dude, Kennedy's got 5 inches. He's 5 inches taller than this man and has got 8 inches of reach. I mean, it's stupid. Stupid. But this big boy, he's going to go out there and get the win. I just don't see Devin doing anything with that dude. You could just keep him at bay with some nice long straight punches and boom.
There's definitely a point where where Devin Clark would feel dangerous in this matchup, but just what he's been doing lately, it just doesn't feel like he's got too much threats coming in here. What do you got,
Right.
Dan?
I see what you guys are saying, but for some reason, I'm siding with Devin Clark. I think that his wrestling will play a big impact. I know Kennedy's tough to move around, but they don't call Devin Clark the Brown Bear for nothing. He mauls people. He was on that Korean card that was at like 2 a.m. Eastern time, and I remember laying in bed just watching him dog walk. What's his name? Like Daun Jung or something like that. Yeah, Daun Jung. It was a tough fight, but he got it together in the later rounds where he just started wearing and tearing on the guy. I think that the big brown bear, the big man, is going to be able to edge this one out.
Interesting take there. Goosey, what you got?
Going Kennedy, I think he gets a late TKO here. He's got an 80% takedown defense. His game plan is to wear you out and get you out of there late. Devin Clark, I think he's going to play into that game plan, come out hot, and then fade as the fight goes on. Kennedy and Njoku, he's a dog, and I think he's getting the round 3 TKO.
Let's go. We're moving into the featured prelim boot of the night. Drew Dober versus Matt Frivola. Steamroller Frivola. 10-3-1 is Mr. Frivola. And Drew Dober's 26-11. These guys are going to stand in the pocket and they're going to exchange massive punches right on each other's faces until one of them goes to sleep. All right. And I'm taking Drew Dober. I think that he's going to be the more elusive guy in the pocket. And that's really all it's going to take in this matchup because they're going to be standing 6 inches away from each other and just fucking launching missiles. Okay. And I'm taking Drew Dober to just be better in the fire. You know, he's been in the fire a little bit longer with a little bit better guys. So I think that when it comes down to who's got their eyes open in the pocket and who's really going to land that blow on the chin, it's going to be Mr. Dober, not to mention the fucking crimson chin on that dude. So I'm taking Dober's chin and hit Dober's hands to get this one done. What do you got, Dano?
I love the Dober pick. I think the Giga Chin is not going down in this fight. What I think of this fight is I see Frivola rocking him, Dober's head snapping back, and then coming right back into the fight. And Frivola's going to be like, oh, crap. Like you were saying, this fight's going to be a banger. I think this could definitely have potential for fight of the night, and Dober's going to come out on top.
UC, what do you got?
Going steamroller, 55% takedown defense from Dober. I think that on the feet, they'll be close. He'll be able to get it to the ground. I see steamroller decision in a banger fight.
Front kick, wrap it up.
Give me Dober, that fucking vibranium chin on him. But yeah, give me Drew Dober, my fighter of the week. But yeah, it's gonna be a fucking banger.
Let's go.
Banger.
Those are the picks and predictions. Prelims wrapped up. UFC 288. Catch the main card video. Catch us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. You name it, we got it. Let's get it. Thanks for tuning in, fellas. Let's make some gula.